Hey guys, I just want to jump up here real quick because this video I'm actually posting on all the channels. But the reason why is because we took this amazing tour of Wynwood Arts. So it's the Wynwood Art Tour with Lance, our tour guide Lance. He did such a phenomenal job that I just want to put it in as many places as possible because this was one of the best tours. His knowledge was everything. Yeah, so that's why you're going to see this video here. And if you're subscribed to my other channels, you're going to see it there too. Okay, guys, on to the video. To the untrained eye, what is seen could be anywhere from colorful pictures, some somber, some glitzy, to chaos or visual cacophony, graffiti. But what I most appreciate about this tour was having a guide trained in the language of the arts the streets not just makes, but produces. More than pictures for someone to post up against, many of these murals are songs of protest, declarations of what is happening today, now. These messages are on fire, racing against time for when the next visual artist earns a spot to tell what's in his heart, on her mind, for all of us to witness. So we are here in front of the Wynwood Garage. We're about to go do another tour. This time a tour of the Wynwood Art District, the Wynwood Walls, Wynwood Graffiti, Wynwood something.
And I'm gonna call this series
What?
Tour Marathon.
Oh, tour marathon. I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, so we don't know how good this is gonna be. We got this on Viator. It came about $30 a piece. I had a 10% coupon code to get 10% off. So after that, it came to like $59 and some change. Yeah, so we don't know what to expect. This tour is not feeding us food. Hopefully it's fun and interesting. All right, guys, so our ride is here and it's just Jay and I. We have a private tour. Bam. Hi.
My name is Lance. So this is old school. So I was trying to bring you back to where it all started. On that train, it says 1971. So next year, hip hop will celebrate a half a century, 50 years. On the upper left-hand corner, it says "Make Your Mark," and this was all about 1970s black, brown kids from Spanish Harlem, Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, South Bronx, South Bronx. You know, they're taking to writing their names all over the city. The most targeted canvas or subway trains. Why? Because they're moving canvas, so it has high visibility. Of course, the authorities don't want that. They don't like that. So it takes them 10 years to run them off the subways and into the street. And it gives birth to street art. Now, this wall was done by a crew from the Bronx, New York, called the Fame City Crew. This was done in 5 days by 4 artists. Wow. So a huge part of street art in that culture is speed. Speed counts. Why?
You gotta move.
You gotta move.
You gotta spray and move.
So the work you see today, like these huge murals, has either been granted permission or they've been commissioned. So you don't just roll up in Wynwood and grab a wall. The most distinct thing about street art is all ephemeral. It's temporary. Everything that you're looking at today is on borrowed time. By the time it's painted, it's just a matter of time before it'll be buffed out, the building knocked down, painted over. So that's a huge part of it. This type of writing that you look at right here is called wild style graffiti. You'll see it all over the world. And it's done intentionally to be difficult to read. And you would say, why would a graffiti artist would not want you to read their names? See, back in the early days, everybody had short names. Coco 155, Taki 183, Stay High 149. Short name, and you told them what street you live on. I live on 149th Street in Grand Concourse. I live on 155th. So the cops could read your name, and you told them what street you lived on. It was just a matter of time before you got the knock and you got arrested. So it gives birth to signatures, where like most people, like my signature, you can spend 20 hours and not be able to read it. This is all about abstract flair.
Over 20 square blocks, Wynwood is actually the largest street collection of art in the United States.
So often a lot of women will ask me, are there many women involved in street art? And now they are. Early on, because the early association with gang and criminal activity, a lot of women were not really involved. But now, so many talented women. This is a local female artist by the name of Red, here out of Miami, to do this piece right here on this wall. This is a really highly visible wall. This has done a lot for her career. You can see in the upper right-hand corner that she's actually left her contact information. That's fairly new. In the past, you would never let the authorities know where to find you. You know, right? It's clearly a commissioned piece, and she, with her work, you will always see that kind of hip-hop flamingo that will accompany her murals. One of my favorites. She's out of New York City, New York, from out of Astoria, Queens, originally from Guayaquil, Ecuador. This is Lady Pink. Lady Pink is 55 years young.
Wow.
She's been doing street art for well over 40 years. This is, of course, written in Spanish, but she's an activist. Her art in a public forum, she uses to raise social awareness and conscience for issues like violence toward women, immigration with her.
Yes.
So she is the beloved Lady Pink. She is one of the OGs. 40 years in the game, Lady Pink.
Yes.
This is the commercial side of street art. Of course, this is the late, great queen of salsa, Celia Cruz. Famously would know for saying, Azuka, Azuka. But look at the upper left-hand corner, and you'll see this is a Spotify ad. That's right.
Wow.
A lot of major brands have commissioned these street artists to do these wonderful murals. Why? Because you guys photograph them. You post them. So when you photograph Celia Cruz, you're gonna get that Spotify ad in there. So wonderful tribute to Kobe Bryant. This was done about 2 weeks after his tragic death. The walls are your reporters. Whatever's trending in pop culture and current events will always show up in the street. This is the place to be.
So that's LeBron James' store.
Yes, LeBron James. There's a whole basketball court in the back. Yeah, you get to try on your new kicks after you see if you got games. The Wynwood Walls was the brainchild of the late Tony Goldman. He bought these buildings, I said, for the sole purpose of artists to paint on them. So every year, about 20 artists are flowing in. All of the materials and supplies are provided. So even in the Wynwood Walls, the art changes there. So the Wynwood Walls traditionally average 10,000 visitors per day. Last year, over 3 million people came through here. The wall facing us is done by the preeminent American street artist Frank Shepard Fairey, otherwise known as Obey. So that's Obey did that wall. The image with the cowboy hat on and the glasses, that's the late Tony Goldman. They call him TG. So this has been up roughly a year now. This is the commission mural where the artist El Mac out of East LA was paid over $250,000 to do this.
Oh, wow.
So there is money in it. These artists are celebrated. This building was actually constructed to have this feature wall. So the building's been open a year. He took that artist, one artist, 6 months to do this.
Wow.
This piece actually has a title. It's called Love Supreme, after that Coltrane classic. Now these are 3 kids from this neighborhood that the artist came in a couple of weeks before and wanted to be inclusive. You know, the neighborhood is being gentrified. It's going through changes. And Overtown is 10 blocks south of us. And this is Boricua. This is El Barrio, Little San Juan. So the artist wanted to celebrate them. We back in Harlem, we call them ghetto superstars. He has a really unique style pattern. This is photorealism with a twist. You see those circles, those contour lines like that. Energy. G's always talking about positive vibrations, good energy.
Yes, girl, yes.
And right here, this is all about. He is blessing the community.
Wow.
They're very subtle. Now, you don't want to turn off the people that are paying you, but you want to put your touch in that. So, beautiful piece done by El Mac. If you're going to follow anybody today, worth following, ELMAC, all done freehand. Now, traditionally, a mural on this scale, they would project it. They would hit it with a projector, and they would trace it, and they would fill it in. He did this freehand on the grid system. She can see the lines and boxes on there. You see the squares, those quadrants?
Yep.
That lets him know where he is, and he's literally trying to connect the dots. There's no perspective. There's no backing up and seeing your work.
Ah.
Window wash the scaffolding. He's on the wall 12 to 14 hours a day. Street art is not for everybody. It is physically demanding. Most people, when you think of art, you don't think that you got to be in shape to do it. This, by the time you finish this, your hands are shot. Can you imagine pressing a can of spray paint 12 to 14 hours a day, 6 days a week for 6 months?
Wow.
Side note, these kids are all alive. Those flowers were just introduced here to give it a little pop of color. This is not a memorial. It's not a tribute to any slain. Black Lives Matter. I heard a lot of false and erroneous messages about it. They're all very much alive. Now, around the corner, we saw LeBron James' store, correct?
Yes.
This is Pharrell Williams' store here. This is his collaboration with Adidas. It's called the Billionaire's Boys Club. So, this is all about old school hip hop. One of my favorite murals, because I'm an old hip hop head, done by two amazing Latin artists. You got Abstract out of Miami, and an Afro-Peruvian artist out of Lima, Peru, Intex. So this takes you back. I had to explain to a lady the other day what gazelle glasses were. So they're rocking the gazelles, the flat tops.
Yeah.
Those are behind us. This piece here was completed last week by a New York-based artist, and here you have current President Donald Trump as Pac-Man, just TBD. So this is another commission piece. He was paid to do this. This is an ad. This is what an ad looks like, man. You got the funky Rasta lion, man. You see the dreadlocks dripping on the natty dreads on the sidewalk now, right? So he can paint, man. This guy, we're going to see a number of his murals today. He's local. During the COVID, he's just been in high demand all over Florida doing installations in murals. So this is Ruben, another one worth following. I want to talk about this piece right here of the late Dr. Jose Gregorio Hernandez. You see the flowers there. Well, it's traditionally a memorial there. Many think this is a recent death. This doctor has been gone since 1918. He's the first saint out of Venezuela. Pope Francis has beatified him. So many proud Venezuelans have come through here, and they will maintain an altar there. So traditionally, they have fresh flowers and candles there. But he's the first saint, and everything's out here, from just CBD to hip hop elements. The streets have no limits. It's done by a really talented female artist. This is not a self-portrait, first of all. Very few street artists paint themselves, So this is a local model who was hired. This was all done in aerosol spray paint. Many people think it was airbrush, but it was spray paint. And the way this is done, they're not using traditional spray paint like Krylon or Rust-Oleum. They're using specially designed graffiti paint. More important, it's low pressure. It comes out slower. It's easy to control. And what really allows them to paint on this level are the caps they use. They might use as many as 25 different caps. The wing cap, the fat cap, the skinny cap, the Berlin cap, Brooklyn cap. It's like an artist using different paintbrushes. This was done by Ron English. Ron English is 63 years young. He's known as the godfather of street art.
Wow.
Ron English. So this was his pop-up. A lot of these factory buildings that you're looking at, during the year, they're unoccupied. But during Basel, they're activated as galleries, dance venues, selling art. And this is what he did with his building. Ron English holds a Master of Fine Arts from the University of Texas. So he's a formally trained artist. That is often left out, that a lot of these street artists are formally trained. They've attended some of the best art schools here in the U.S. Rhode Island, like Obey went to RISD, Rhode Island School of Design. Parsons out of New York School of Visual Arts put out Keith Haring, Basquiat, Kenny Sharp, SCAD in Savannah. So they know how to paint. Some of them are professional illustrators, graphic artists. This piece was based on Picasso's Guernica. That was a famous painting he did during World War II, pointing out the atrocities of war. So this is kind of a pop art take on that. One of my personal favorites is this one right here. I love everything about it. It says Loveism, and it's done by Hec One, local Miami artist, Cuban ancestry. And many will ask me about the Marley image. Was that done on purpose? No, that's Mother Nature working with the artist. And I love how it's become more and more distressed and has given birth to this wonderful patina. You know, you see it and I just love it. So this has been up for 5 years.
What does it spell? Oh gosh. Oh, there's words. Ooh, something. Is that a O H M A? Oh, M A A. Oh no, M O A. Miami.
There you go.
Woo, that was a struggle.
I was so happy she did panel with the tiger. Look at this amazing tiger done by Sunny Sundancer out of Cape Town, South Africa.
Wow.
So she's been on this about 3 days.
Hello. Y'all see this?
There was a sister. She was a Army soldier. My sister out of Texas. Who was being sexually harassed and ultimately murdered by one of her soldiers too. It was a big scandal. Big scandal about it. The last name is Guillen, correct? Vanessa Guillen. Vanessa Guillen. Texas girl, Chicano sister. And right here, this gracious artist right here has been up about 3 days now? She's been about 3 days?
Yeah, we started, today is, what is today? Today's Tuesday.
Tuesday,
so
yeah.
over the weekend we bought some time to wall.
Yeah.
Yesterday was pretty much, yesterday, today, but the 2 days going in on the sketch. And then we'll spend the next week and a half painting.
So the organization that we have, that we basically do community murals